of order, Stephen Kerr.
I seek your guidance on what I think you will agree is a serious matter. On November the 14th, I asked the Cabinet Secretary for Health and Social Care if contemporaneous notes existed for all of his ministerial engagements which involved watching Aberdeen Football Club. He said, and I quote, "There are and will be summaries of the discussions that have taken place, which is in accordance with the ministerial code," unquote. However, the Sunday Post is in possession of a Freedom of Information response that makes it clear that this isn't true. Clearly, the Cabinet Secretary has provided information to Parliament that is inaccurate, whether intentionally or otherwise. Have you been approached by the Cabinet Secretary to make a correction to the official report? Or has he asked for time to make a statement to Parliament? And what powers do you have as presiding officer to sanction a member who has evidentially made a false statement to this chamber?
Thank you, Mr Kerr. Members are aware that the content of contributions is not normally a matter for the Chair to rule on. It is a matter of paramount importance that members, including ministers, give accurate and truthful information to the Parliament, correcting any inadvertent errors at the earliest opportunity. And if a member has a question about the factual accuracy of another member's contribution, they can, of course, raise it directly with that member. And the Chamber is aware that the Parliament has a corrections procedure and how that mechanism operates. We will now move on. Point of order, Neil Bibb.
Further to that point of order, Presiding Officer, I would like to raise a point of order concerning Standing Orders 13.1 and 13.2. On the 14th of November, I asked the Cabinet Secretary for Health, Neil Gray, to publish minutes showing what issues were discussed for all, and not just the majority of the matches that he used the Scottish Government car service to attend. In response to my question, Mr Gray said there will be a note available on what was discussed. In answer to Mr Kerr, he said summaries will be available for all the engagements that I have been participating. As we've heard, the subsequent Freedom of Information releases from the Scottish Government have not provided summary notes for all the events in question. Presiding Officer, the attendance of ministers at sports events, where appropriate, should be supported by the Government. I have never questioned that. The question I asked in November was whether the correct rules and protocols were followed by the Cabinet Secretary. The question today, however, is about the apparent inconsistency between what Mr Gray told Parliament and what the Government has published. There is a significant risk here of a perception that the Cabinet Secretary may have misled this Parliament, and the situation at present cannot be allowed to stand. Over 2 months have passed and the official report has not been updated, Presiding Officer. Given the amount of time that has passed, it is my view that Mr Gray should therefore give a further statement to explain this glaring inconsistency. Can you confirm, Presiding Officer, that under Rule 13.1 a member can request a personal statement, and under Rule 13.2 a ministerial statement can be requested? And can you confirm both of those avenues are available to Mr Gray to either clarify his own remarks or confirm whether the Government is deliberately withholding information he stated would be available?
Thank you. Mr Bibby is correct with regards to both 13.1 and 13.2, and if such a request were to be received, I would certainly consider it. We will now move on to the next